Did you know that in Japan, a country known for its order and precision, there exists a system of execution so psychologically taxing it's been dubbed the evil design? It's a world shrouded in secrecy, where the final moments of a person's life are managed with chilling efficiency. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on Japan's death penalty, exploring its bizarre rituals and the profound ethical questions it raises. Imagine waking up every single day in a tiny cell, just under 5 square meters, not knowing if it will be your last. This is the reality for death row inmates in Japan. The routine is rigid, the solitude is absolute, but the most terrifying part is the uncertainty. Unlike in many other countries, prisoners are not given a date for their execution. They live in a constant state of suspense, a limbo that can last for years, sometimes even decades. Then, one ordinary morning, it happens. With no warning, guards enter the cell. The inmate is informed that their time has come. This notice can be given just a couple of hours, or sometimes mere minutes before the execution is carried out. This sudden notification is the core of what critics call the evil design. It's a method designed to inflict the maximum amount of psychological distress, a form of mental torture that hangs over them every second of every day. So, what is the government's official reason for this practice? The Japanese Ministry of Justice claims that this suddenness is actually for the inmates' own good. They argue it maintains their mental stability and prevents them from harming themselves or falling into deep despair in the days leading up to their execution. But human rights organizations around the world strongly disagree. Groups like Amnesty International have condemned this practice, labeling it as cruel, inhumane, and a clear violation of international human rights standards. They argue that telling someone they're about to die just moments beforehand is the very definition of psychological torture. The risk of executing an innocent person makes the system even more terrifying. Consider the case of Mendesake. He spent 34 grueling years on death row, living under this constant threat before he was finally exonerated and released. His conviction was overturned, but those 3 decades of psychological torment could never be returned. Then there's the story of Iwao Hakamada, a former professional boxer, who holds the grim record for the longest-serving death row inmate in the world. He was sentenced to death in 1968 and spent over 45 years in solitary confinement, waiting for that fateful knock on his door. In 2014, he was granted a retrial and released after it was revealed that key evidence used to convict him had likely been fabricated by the police. These cases are not just statistics. They are stark reminders of the system's fallibility and the irreversible consequences of a mistake. The evil design becomes exponentially more horrifying when you realize it could be inflicted upon an innocent person. Now, let's talk about the method itself. While the United States primarily uses lethal injection, Japan has retained a method that has been used for centuries: hanging. The process is highly ritualized. On the day of the execution, the condemned is taken from their cell to a prayer room. Here, they can meet with a chaplain and are offered a final meal or a cigarette. After these last rites, they are blindfolded, a hood is placed over their head, and their hands are restrained. They are then led into the execution chamber and positioned directly over a square trapdoor in the floor. A rope is placed around their neck. The atmosphere is sterile, quiet, and profoundly grim. The finality of the moment is palpable. But the most bizarre part of this whole procedure happens in an adjacent room, completely hidden from the inmate's view. This is where we encounter the triple button mystery. Inside this control room, 3 prison officers stand before a wall. In front of them are 3 identical buttons. They are instructed to press their buttons simultaneously. However, only one of these buttons is the kill switch that will open the trapdoor and carry out the execution. The other 2 do nothing. Why this elaborate setup? It's a mechanism of diffused responsibility. The officers never know which one of them pressed the button that actually caused the death. This ambiguity is designed to alleviate the psychological burden on any single individual, ensuring that no one officer feels they are solely responsible for taking a human life. It turns a direct act into a collective, almost bureaucratic procedure. For undertaking this incredibly heavy task, these officers are reportedly paid a small bonus, something around 20,000 yen, which is roughly $130. It's a chillingly small sum for participating in such a momentous and psychologically taxing event. You might be wondering how such a system persists in a modern, democratic society. The truth is, public opinion in Japan has consistently shown majority support for the death penalty. It's often seen as a necessary tool for justice, especially for heinous crimes. Furthermore, the legal process for sentencing someone to death is quite different from what you might see in the US. In Japan's mixed jury and judge system, a death sentence doesn't require a unanimous verdict. A majority vote, for example, 5 out of 9 judges and lay judges, is enough to send someone to the gallows. The secrecy surrounding the death penalty has also been a major point of contention. It wasn't until 2007 that the government even started making the names of executed inmates public. For years, families were sometimes not notified until after the execution had already taken place. So we have a system where inmates live in perpetual fear, where the act of execution is diffused among several people to lessen guilt, and where the risk of executing the innocent is a proven reality. From the evil design of the sudden notice to the chilling anonymity of the triple button system, Japan's death penalty forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about justice, psychology, and what it truly means to be humane. It's a stark reminder that behind the serene image of a nation, complex and deeply troubling systems can operate in the shadows. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. This is a heavy topic, and I appreciate you sticking with it. If you found this exploration interesting and want to learn more about the hidden corners of our world, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It really helps us continue to create content like this. See you in the next video.